ẹ bá mi pè é o. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Rédíò. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ àfínjú. Lórí WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, lórí X, lórí YouTube, lórí TikTok. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Ẹ bá mi pè é o. Rédíò. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ àfínjú. 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 Rédíò àfínjú. Rédíò àfínjú. Rédíò àfínjú.
What's up, Naija? Catch up on latest trending entertainment news, movies, music, celebrity gossip, and everything buzzing on Catch Up for better story as e dey hot. Tune in to Catch Up on Radio Afiju with your radio gem and spicy honey drop every Saturday, 4 to 5 p.m. Watch us live and follow Radio Afiju on Facebook and YouTube so you don't miss out. Don't worry, Catch Up got you covered.
Hey there, Super Kids! Are you ready for a ride of fun and learning? Get ready to blast off on Kiddies Arena with Aunty Pearl and crew on Radio Afinju every Saturday at 10 to 11 a.m. Listen to stories that will tickle your bones, games that will blow your mind, and music that will make you dance like no one's watching. There's also lots of surprises and gifts to be won. So gather your friends, turn up the volume, let's have fun and make awesome memories together on Kiddies Arena with Aunty Pearl and crew. Only on Radio Afinju. Yeah! Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ekaro Ututuoma Barka de Safia. How are you doing this lovely Saturday morning? It's always a good day here at Radio Afinju. And guess what time it is? It is time for Kiddies Arena with Aunty Pearl and crew with your host, Aunty Pearl. And of course, I don't do this alone. With me here, I have two wonderful young ladies. Together every Saturday, they come with all the energy and they're always so happy to be here. Am I lying?
No.
All right, so by my right here, I have Sophia. How are you doing this morning, Sophia?
I'm doing very well. Today is a different Saturday, you know. I'm not complaining.
What's different about
I'm not complaining about how my week went today.
Oh, okay.
Wow. It was kind of stress. I'm still complaining about how minimize it, but it is okay regardless.
Okay, that's wonderful. Good to see you in high spirits. And how are you, Ewa?
I'm good.
How was your week?
Similar to Sophia's, but we pushed through anyways, regardless.
Okay, on my own end has also been fantastic. I mean, busy as always, but we are here once again to give you what we have for this morning. So if you're not already following us on social media, we're on Facebook, YouTube, X as well, that is Twitter, all social media platforms at Radio Afinju. Follow us, turn on notifications, and you can also contribute to ongoing conversations on our Facebook page at Radio Afinju. Don't forget, you can also stream and listen to our audio stream at our website at www.afinjufm.com or on Zeno Radio at Radio Afinju. Kiddies Arena is also open for sponsorship. If you have kid-friendly goods and services that you want to advertise, you want to reach out to hundreds and thousands of followers, then just reach out to the phone number displayed on your screen and the marketing team will get in touch with you. Good morning once again. I hope you are enjoying your weekend. I hope you're out of bed by this time because the weekend, most people like to stay in bed late because they don't have to wake up early to go to school or to go to work. But even though it's weekend, there's still things for you to do. You need to clean around the house, you need to do some washing, and you also need to join Kiddies Arena with Aunty Pearl. So that's good to have you here on the show. We will go on a very quick break now, and when we come back, we're going to do a little recap of what we did last week, and then we're going to go straight into what we have for you today. So don't go anywhere. Gather your friends, gather your family, gather all the children around you, because Kiddies Arena is for everybody, and we will be right back.
Play ball on the grass so green. It's the nicest day I've ever seen. It's the nicest day I've ever seen. Colors are coloring the world before my eyes. At evening time, a gorgeous sunset, and at dawn a bright sunrise. Colors are coloring the world before my eyes, and the rainbow paints the sky.
Welcome back to the show. It's still Kiddies Arena with Aunty Pearl. And before we went on that break, I said we're going to do a little recap of what we did last week, just so to ensure you did not forget. So, Ewa, starting with you. What was our story last week for?
Our last week's story was about a brave little firefly who overcame his fears and learned to shine his light over his entire friends, and just be courageous.
Was able to use his talent to help his friends who were in need. So it was a story of bravery, because he was scared at first, but finally, I think it was the wise owl that encouraged him, and then he was able to key into that talent and learn to help his friends in need. That was the story. That was the summary of the story that we read last week. And then in grammar segment, Sophia, what did we do in grammar?
Good morning once again. For last week, that's the second time. Good morning. Grammar last week, we talked about the articles indefinite article D and the definite article A and an, where we talk about the uses and how we should try to implement them and not to make mistakes. And on the current affairs, we talked about the Ibira tribe. And last week we were unable to mention the prominent people from Ibira, so let's just go through it. We have His Royal Majesty Alhaji Dr. Ado Ibrahim. He was the king for Ibira land since 1997, but he passed away 2023. That was 2 years ago. We have Mercy Johnson, in renowned Nollywood actress. We have Joseph Makoji. We have Yahya Bello. We have Natasha Kuti. We have Piles Lasisi Jimo, and we have a lot of them. We can go more and learn more about these people. And on the word for the day last week was ineffable, and that was all for my part last week.
Okay, brilliant. And from the safety segment, I did home safety. I was trying to let us understand that just because you are at home in the confines in the four walls of your house doesn't mean you should not be careful as well, because there are certain home safety tips we need to employ as we go about our day. There are bathroom safety, kitchen safety, living room safety, and all of that. I'm sure you learned one or two things. When you spill water, you should clean it up immediately. Don't play with electrical gadgets. If you're stepping out of your house, ensure that all sockets are properly turned off and all of that. So that's what we did. Today, however, we are still doing the same segment but different things entirely. In the storytelling segment, we have the storytelling segment, we have the grammar segment, of course, we have current affairs like we always do. We also have word of the day, and then the last segment, which is our safety, general well-being segment, which is my segment. So storytelling, we're going to go straight into storytelling for today, and that is from Ewa Oluwa. Ewa, what do you have for us today?
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Today's story is titled The Little Tree That Learned to Bend. The Little Tree That Learned to Bend. Again, we need to make our imagination active, as always, this morning. So let's get straight into it. In a small village, nestled in the mountains, there was a little tree named Luna. Luna was a proud and stubborn tree, with branches that stretched up towards the sky and roots that dug deep into the earth. As the seasons changed, the villagers would often comment on how beautiful Luna was. But as time passed, the villagers began to notice that Luna was not like any other trees. While they swayed gently in the wind, Luna stood stiff and still. One day, a strong storm rolled in, bringing heavy rain and powerful gusts. The villagers watched in worry as the winds howled and the rain pounded against Luna's branches. But Luna, proud and stubborn as she was, refused to bend. She dug her roots deeper into the earth and stood firm against the wind. At first, it seemed like Luna was winning. But as the storm raged on, her branches began to crack, to creak and groan. The villagers held their breath as Luna's trunk started to sway, and then with a loud crack, one of her branches snapped. The villagers rushed to Luna's aid, but it was far too late. The storm had passed, but Luna was left broken and battered. As the days went by, Luna realized that her pride and stubbornness had almost destroyed her. She had refused to bend and adapt to the changing winds, and now she was paying the price. But Luna was determined to learn from her mistake. She began to observe the other trees in the village, watching how they swayed and flexed in the wind. Slowly, but surely, Luna began to change. She learned to bend and adapt, to flex her branches and yield to the wind. And as she did, she found that she was stronger and more resilient than ever before. The villagers noticed the change in Luna and began to comment on her newfound flexibility. They would say, "Look at Luna, she's learned to bend with the wind." And Luna would stand tall, her branches swaying gently in the breeze. The moral of this story is that sometimes it's necessary to bend and adapt to the changing circumstances of life. Being proud and stubborn can be admirable traits, but they can also lead to breakage and harm. By learning to yield and flex, we can become stronger and more resilient, just like Luna. And when we do, we'll find that we can weather any storm that comes our way. Wow. And that is our moral for today's story.
That's a brilliant story. You know, when the story started, initially I was like, well, there's nothing wrong with Luna not wanting to conform. There's nothing wrong with being resilient and trying to fight against all odds and everything. But when we so towards the end of the story, I tend to realize that sometimes it is necessary to compromise, because you will find out that at the end of the day, because Luna was being so, was stretching forward when the wind came, her branch snapped.
Yeah.
But when she learned to conform, and instead bend in the direction of the wind. So when the heavy wind came, she was fine, just like every other tree were. But when every other tree was bending, she would think, I'm not going to bend like all these people. I'm going to be different. It is fine to be different, but you should look at the situation at hand and see if is it necessary. Basically, just know when to be resilient and when to just let things be. Know when to be different and know when to do what every other person is doing. It's going to take a lot of you just have to come to the realization that it's not every time that you have to be different. Sometimes for your own good, you have to actually do what the rest are doing so that you don't hurt yourself, or so that you can get the best results out of a situation. So yes, be brave, be courageous, be resilient, but also know what action is required in every situation that you find yourself. And I'm glad that Luna learned that lesson before things got really bad. And I'm sure you listening this morning as well, you have also learned the lesson that there is time to be resilient, there's time to be brave, there's also time to conform, there's also time to listen to other people, listen to their own perspective, so that you can do what is best for you. So thank you again, Ewa, for that beautiful story. And right about now, we're going into grammar segment. We're going into grammar, and that's by Sophia. So what are we doing, Sophia, in grammar?
Today we're talking about sentence structure. Sentence structure. Oh, we're looking at the types of sentences we have. Is it simple? Is it complex? Is it complex? We would be describing sentences based on their usage. Is it being used as a command? Is it a question? Is it imperative? And we'll be having a lot of fun learning sentence structure this morning. So let's just go into it. So sentence structure refers to the way words are arranged to form a complete sentence. A sentence must have a subject and a predicate to be grammatically correct. A sentence must have a subject and a predicate to be grammatically correct. So let's talk about the subject. What is the subject in a sentence? This is the person, a place, a thing, or idea that performs the action. This is the person, a place, a thing, or idea that performs the action in a sentence. Like, let's look at this example. The cat sleeps. The cat sleeps. Like, the subject in this example is going to be the cat, because it's the cat that is performing the action of sleeping. So the cat sleeps. That is our subject. So a subject simply means the subject, place, or idea that performs the action. And we have predicates, because we already said a sentence must have a subject and a predicate to be grammatically correct. We have predicates. So what is a predicate? This is the part of the sentence that tells what the subject does. This is the part of the sentence that is telling what the subject of the sentence is doing. So we have that example we used previously for under the subject. We have the cat sleeps. The cat sleeps. The cat is our subject. So what is the cat doing in the sentence?
Sleeping.
Sleeps. That is going to be our predicate. So the cat sleeps. Sleeps is the predicate in the sentence. And we have object. Object is optional. We don't have to have an object in the sentence before it makes a complete sense. When we have the cat sleeps, already without an object, it's complete and it's making sense. So an object is very optional, but sometimes we need an object to complement our predicate. So object, this is a part of the sentence that receives the action of the verb. It is receiving the action of the verb. An example: she reads a book. She reads a book. She is the subject. Reads is the predicate, because that's the action the subject is performing. And a book, that is going to be our object, because it's the book that is receiving the action in this sentence. So we have basic components of a sentence. What must we have in a sentence to make a complete sense? We have our subject, we have our predicate, and we have our object that is optional. So let's look at types of sentence structure. Types of sentence structure. We have the simple sentence. Simple sentence. That is a sentence with one independent clause. A sentence with one independent clause. That is a sentence that makes a complete thought on its own. It makes a complete thought. An example is, she sings beautifully. She sings beautifully. Like when we just, she sings beautifully, it's making a complete sense on its own. Like the sun rises in the east. The sun rises in the east. That is a simple sentence. And we have another type of sentence that is compound sentence. This is where it's getting more interesting. We have the compound sentence. This is a sentence with two independent clauses. A sentence with two independent clauses that we're having two complete thoughts in a sentence, but it is being joined by a coordinating conjunction. It is being joined by a coordinating conjunction, and for coordinating conjunction, we have about 7 of them. We have for, and, nor, but, or, yet. So we have for, F-O-R, for, A-N-D, and, N-O-R, nor, B-U-T, but, O-R, or, Y-E-T, yet, S-O. So there are 7 in numbers, and we can have the acronym as fanboys. Fanboys. F for fro, that's the F in fanboys, A in an, A for an, and rather, N for no, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. That's fanboys. Fanboys. So compound. We're not saying that compound sentence, so it's having two independent clauses. It's having two sentences making a complete sense, but it is being joined together by one of these coordinating conjunction. So let's have an example. We have, I wanted to go outside. That is a complete sentence on its own. It's making a complete sense. And but so I wanted to go outside, but that is our coordinating conjunction. It is joining the first initial statement to another one. But conjunction. I wanted to go outside, but it started raining. Another example is, she loves reading. That's a complete sentence. It's making a complete sense on its own. And he enjoys painting. She loves reading. A complete sentence. He enjoys painting. Another complete sentence. But we are bringing them together. We are making them a whole statement using our coordinated conjunction, and that is a compound sentence. She loves reading and he enjoys painting. We have another type of sentence. One independent clause. One independent clause. That is, that statement can stand on its own. We have one statement that can stand on its own, and at least one dependence clause. That dependence clause is that one that cannot even stand on its own. Let's talk about because it was raining. So because it was raining, that is the dependence clause, because it does not pass a meaningful sentence. It's not conveying a total sense. So because it was raining, although I was there, you were there, so
what happened?
So that's a dependence clause. So a complex sentence is saying that we must have a complete sentence that's giving us a very meaningful understanding, and one dependence clause, that one that's just like that one that's not really full. It's not a full sentence. It's just giving us half knowledge of what. Very convinced that you understand what it's saying, and at least one dependent clause. The sentence is not full. You're still wondering, what is happening here? It does not make a complete sense. Cannot stand alone. So we are going to, for compound complex, we are going to be having two independent. So let's look at this last example. The compound complex sentence. We have, I like tea. That is an independent clause. I like tea, but he prefers coffee. Coffee. So but here is coordinating. It is joining. It is linking our sentences together. But is our coordinated conjunction. But without the but but there, we can have he prefers coffee as well. It is passing a total sense because it keeps him awake. But if you're having the sentence something like because it keeps him awake, you'll be wondering. So that is what we're trying to say. For compound complex, we must have two independent clauses and at least one dependent clause. Two sentences that are making a total sense, and the other one that cannot stand alone. So that is it for sentence structure this morning. And we can classify sentences based on purpose. We have declarative sentence, that is makes it and we have imperative sentence, that is giving a command. It is giving a command. Close the door, it is giving a command, and that is imperative sentence. Give me some money, Aunty Pearl, give me some money. Okay. That's the type of imperative sentence. And we have exclamatory sentence. This is expressing strong emotion, just like our exclamation mark, like what a beautiful day. You're very glad, you're expressing strong emotion. That is exclamatory sentence, and that is where we'll be stopping on the sentence structure this morning and other grammar.
Okay, thank you so much, Sophia. I've learned something this morning, and I'm sure you listening to me, you've done that as well. Okay, so we're going on a very quick break now. But before I do that, I want to quickly announce that we have something for one lucky audience this morning, one lucky listener. If you're listening to us this morning, we have something for you, but of course you have to earn it. Yes, you do have to earn it. How though? By answering our riddle for this morning. So you stand a chance to win data gift courtesy of Veracious Pay app, or you stand a chance of winning a regular ticket for Love Rekindled 2025 courtesy of Retester Events and Project Management. So either you win a regular ticket for Love Rekindled event, or you win a data gift. How do you win? By answering correctly the riddle we are going to drop this morning. I feel like I should drop it now because we may not have time to do that when we get into the next segment. So Ewa Oluwa, quickly drop the riddle for today.
Okay, our riddle for today is: I have a thumb but no fingers.
I have a thumb, but no fingers. What am I? I have a thumb, but no fingers. What am I? Okay. One lucky listener or two or more, you never can tell. But what is the answer to that riddle? Chris Emma is saying, good morning, Kiddies Arena crew. That's on Facebook. Good morning to you, Chris. Is saying, shout out to Ewalua on your story. Okay, thank you for that. We'll go on a quick break now, and when we come back, we are doing current affairs still with Sophia. Don't go anywhere. Alright, you're welcome back to the show. Have you brushed your teeth this morning? If you haven't, there's your reminder to go brush your teeth. Okay, it's time for current affairs with Sophia. So over to you again, Sophia.
You're welcome back to Kiddies Arena. So let's go into current affairs this morning. And this morning under current affairs, we'll be talking about remarkable experience for our forefathers. We're talking about the slave trade in Nigeria. A long time ago, between the 1400s and 1800s, Millions of Africans, including many Nigerians, were taken from their homes and forced to work in faraway lands. This was called the slave trade, but it was a very sad time. The Portuguese were the first Europeans to take people from Africa in the late 400s. Later, the British, Dutch, and French joined. They gave Africa realized goods like guns, mirrors, and clothes in exchange for people. I'm wondering, mirrors and clothes in exchange for people. That's too cheap. Nigerian towns like Lagos, Badagry, Benin, and Calabar became major slave trading ports. Some Nigerian rulers, like the Oba of Benin, at first refused to sell people, but later took part because of the benefits they got from the European traders. The Aro Confederacy in Igbo land controlled many slave trade routes, while the Oyo Empire captured people from wars and sold them to traders. However, not all leaders agreed with slavery. Some, like King Jaja Opobo, fought against it. Captured people were forced to walk long distances to the coast, where they were kept in slave-holding cells. They were then put on ships and taken across the Atlantic Ocean to America. This journey, called the Middle Passage, was very harsh. Many died from hunger and sickness. By the late 1700s, many people started to fight against slavery. Britain banned the slave trade in 1807, and later in 1861 took control of Lagos to stop illegal trading. However, slavery continued in some places until 1888, when Brazil finally banned it. That's a lot. It's a lot of years. That's it. The slave trade weakened Nigerian societies and made it easier for Europeans to take over Nigeria in the late 1800s. Many Nigerians were sent to places like the Caribbean, Brazil, and the United States, where their descendants they still live today.
Yeah.
So I think that is why we have some people who call them Black Americans.
Yeah.
The transatlantic slave trade was one of the darkest times in Nigeria's history. It brought suffering and hardship to millions of people and changed the course of African societies forever. However, despite this painful past, Nigeria and other African nations have remained strong, preserving their culture and rebuilding their communities. Learning about the past helps us understand its impact and ensures that such injustice never happens again. So, and that is all for current affairs. That is about slave trade in Nigeria between the years of 1400s to 1800s. That's a lot of years.
I can tell from the way Sophia was reading it, she was feeling very sober about the story. I mean, there is nobody that will read the story of the slave trade and you will not feel a type of way. It was a really dark period in our history, and I wish a lot of people or a lot of children actually do know about these things. It's essential to know about your past so that when something similar is happening again, you can easily spot the pattern. I mean, you can imagine the things that were being sold in exchange for full human beings. We're talking mirrors that anybody can just fling away now. But because those things were probably new to us then, we've never seen a mirror before, we're wondering, what's this thing? Why I can see my... It's just like, when if you watch, was it The Gods Must Be Crazy? I don't know if anyone has seen that movie. Then when they see a bottle, they'll be looking at it. What's this fantastic thing? It was looking so strange and beautiful to them. So probably it's one of those things that were new to kings of those days. We're like, this beautiful thing, I love it. You know what? Take one person and take them away. And then those slaves were being made to suffer. They were being tied in, being put in prisons, in dungeons, like real life dungeons. I think one of such dungeons even still exists in Ghana. I was watching the documentary a while ago and I saw it was very bad because there was no lights. Everywhere was usually dark. There was no lights in such dungeons, just holes for ventilation. So it was a really, really dark period in our history. So thank you for that piece. I'm sure people who don't know about the slave trade, they have an idea of how it is. I mean, it's good that we are in this generation when we did not have to be in such situations, but then it gives you an idea of what our forefathers, what they went through during their own time. So we'll do word of the day now. What's today's word?
Word of today is spelled INGENUITY. INGENUITY. It is pronounced ingenuity. Ingenuity. So it means ingenuity means being clever, creative, and good at solving problems in smart ways. Being clever, creative, and good at solving problems in smart ways. The synonyms what we can use in replacement of ingenuity, we have creativity, cleverness, inventiveness, resourcefulness. And we have antonyms, words that we can use in opposite. We have inability, we have dullness, and we have uncreativeness. Inability, dullness, and uncreativeness. So let's have that in sentence. Tunde used his ingenuity to build a toy car from old bottle caps and cardboard. I think we see that most of these actions on social media now, where we have young children trying to bring in bottle and build something beautiful from it. So they are being ingenuous. They are
I hope you're not referring to those AI pictures that make it online.
No.
Okay.
No. We have seen videos, a lot of that.
Okay.
So it means ingenuity means being clever, creative, and good at solving problems in smart ways. Add that to your compiled list. add that
to your ever-growing list of new words. Ingenuity. Okay, thank you for that. And for the last segment of the show today, if time permits, we're going to play a game. But for now, we are doing safety and general well-being. Today, I'm treating peer pressure. Peer pressure. What is peer pressure? Have you ever felt peer pressure? How do you know you are being pressured to do something? And this is very common in children because they are easily convinced, because they are trying to be a part of a group, maybe a group of friends, a group of classmates. You don't want to be left behind, and so you end up doing things that others are doing, even though it's not good for you. So what's peer pressure? Peer pressure is when somebody, usually a friend or a classmate, tries to get you to do something that you might not want to do, simply because they want you to do it. So you don't want to do this thing, but because somebody is your friend and they're telling you to do it, you give in and you end up doing that thing. Now, this thing may be good and it may not be good, but the fact that you end up doing it because they ask you to, that is peer pressure. And there are different types of peer pressure. There is the direct peer pressure and indirect peer pressure. What is the direct peer pressure? Direct peer pressure is when somebody comes to you and tells you directly that, oh, why don't you take this? Why don't you do this? Directly, they come to you to tell you to do it, and then you give in, you do that thing because that person asked, even though it may not be of any benefit to you. That's direct peer pressure. And then there is indirect peer pressure. Indirect peer pressure does not necessarily require somebody telling you to do that thing, but you do it because everybody is doing it. Maybe during break, should I say that? Okay, maybe during school hours, your teacher say, "Oh, stop making noise." But because everybody in class is talking and making noise, you decide to join in and make noise. So this time around, nobody is asking you to, but because everyone is doing it, you decide to do it as well. Or maybe they tell you, "Oh, don't go on the swing," but because everyone is doing it, you don't want to feel left out, and then you do it as well. But the thing with peer pressure is that it is not always it's not always negative. Peer pressure can be positive as well. In what way? It can be positive in such a way that if your friends are reading, you also want to study, right? That's peer pressure as well, because they don't necessarily have to come and tell you that, oh, read your book. But the moment you see your friends doing something, even for grown-ups as well, like when we were in school, then you see people going for night class, they go to study ahead of their exams, and because you don't want it to look like you're the only one not reading or not studying, even when you're studying in the confines of your room, but because everybody is going for night class, you feel the need to want to do the same as well. It is peer pressure, but an indirect form of peer pressure, right? Now the thing is, when it comes to peer pressure, you always have the choice to say no. Whether it is a direct peer pressure or indirect peer pressure, you always have the choice to say no. You don't have to do it because everyone is doing it. If it doesn't align with your values or it doesn't feel right, you can always say no. Whether you say no via your actions, whether you say no via your words, ensure that the moment you find yourself in difficult or uncomfortable situations that don't match your values, that don't align with your values, that are not right, or your parents have told you not to do it, as long as you don't want to do it, then you do not have to. So how do you deal with peer pressure? If you find yourself in situations where you feel you're being pressured to do those things, especially things that you know you don't want to do, how do you deal with it? The first thing is build your self-confidence. When you're self-confident, you can stand on your ground, because you know sometimes even when you say no, especially when it comes to direct peer pressure, even when you say no, you still have people that persist or insist that you do that thing. Am I right?
Yeah.
Even when you say no, you don't want to do it, they'll be like, oh, just do it, just do small, or just play for 5 minutes. Maybe your parents have told you, oh, don't go outside, and be like, oh, we'll just go and we'll come back now. And then you're like, okay, since we'll go and come back now, and then you go. And before you know it, you stayed out for 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You understand? So even if initially you say, no, I don't want to go outside, mommy is going to beat me, dad is going to beat me, some people, some friends will still insist. They will still tell you, come now, and before you know it, you're following them outside. So but when you build a self-confidence, you say, no, I don't want to, stop pressuring me, or stop insisting, or you can even go and report to them that this person wants me to play outside when mommy said I shouldn't go outside. So build self-confidence. Another thing, how to deal with peer pressure: learn to say no. A lot of us don't know how to say no. Even as grown-ups, you don't know how to say no, but always learn to say no. If you don't want it, say no, leave me alone. No is a very strong word, but it makes a lot of difference. Another way you can deal with peer pressure is choose your friends wisely. Know the kind of friends, the kind of people you hang out with. If you find out that the friend circle you keep, they have a negative influence on you, they always make you want to do things you don't like, or bad things, or they always make you disobey your parents, then it is time to do away with such friends. It is time to let them go. Another way, communicate openly. Communicate openly. When you are telling somebody no, let your body language not be saying something else. Imagine your friend comes to tell you, yeah, let's go outside and play in the rain, and then you're saying no, and you're wearing your shoe. You're saying no, I don't want to play, but you're wearing your shoe. You're saying no, but you're not saying no, because you might be saying no, but they are looking at you. They are saying, okay, he's getting ready to follow me outside. Of course they will keep insisting. They will keep saying more things that will make you to continue, so that you can follow them outside. So make sure you're communicating properly. You don't want to go, no, I don't want to go and wear your shoe. No, I don't want to wear my shoe. Just ensure that you're communicating, that they understand that when you say no, you mean no. Also, recognize peer pressure when you see it. I think one of the problems you may face is when you don't realize something is peer pressure. For example, this mostly happens when it comes to indirect peer pressure. So there are some things, like the example I made about night classes. Again, a lot of people might be going to night class to study, and maybe you study in your house, and you actually understand when you study in your house, but because everybody's going to night class, you feel the need to want to go to night class. You don't have to go to night class if you're doing well studying in your room. If you're doing well studying in your house, you don't have to follow anybody to go to night class. Do you understand? Unless if you feel the need to want to study as a group, or maybe somebody's going to teach some certain parts of the course or the subjects you're learning, and it is something you don't understand doing by yourself. But the moment you feel the need to do it because others are doing it, not necessarily because it's going to be of any advantage to you at any point, then you should know that this is peer pressure at play. Also, seek support if you find yourself in situations, especially when you don't know, if you're trying to because sometimes when the people involved are your friends, you're trying not to offend them. You don't want to make your friends angry, so that they will not say, oh, I'm not going to play with you again. Or so they will not say every time we call him to come, he will say no, he doesn't want to come. So if you're having difficulties on where to draw the line, or you're having issues with making that decision. You don't want to make your friends angry, but at the same time you also want to stand on your own decision to not do what they are doing, then you can seek the advice, you can seek the support of a grown-up, so they can make you see, okay, if you go out, if you do this thing your friends are telling you to do, of what advantage is it to you? If you don't do it, what are the cons, what are the pros, what use is this thing, is this action to you, before you go ahead and do them. Again, have strengthen your decision making skills. If you're usually having difficulty in making decisions, be intentional about making decisions. Let your yay be yay, let your nay be nay. And that's for my segment this morning. I'm sure you've learned something about peer pressure, types of peer pressure, and how to deal with peer pressure. And I hope that this helps you in making more informed decisions that are of immense help to you. We still have a few minutes left, so we'll quickly play a game. Just 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Okay, 2 minutes.
Dear engineer.
Okay, the engineer is giving us 2 minutes to play a game. Hello, Tobex. How are you doing? Good morning. So, engineer is giving us 2 minutes to play a game. What game are we playing in 2 minutes?
I was thinking we should do 20 questions, but because of the time crunch, maybe we should do like watching.
Okay, let's do 20 questions. I've forgotten how that works. But
think of something and then you ask questions
to
try.
Quickly.
But you only have 3 questions
because
of time crunch.
Okay,
so I'm thinking of something. I'll give you a hint. It is a priceless jewel.
Okay, a priceless jewel. Is it white?
You can be different colors.
Is it round?
Is
it a pearl?
No, it's not a pearl.
Okay.
Is it a diamond?
Yeah. That's why it's not round, because depending on the shape you want it to be.
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking of okay. Okay, I've thought of an object.
At least I need.
Why?
I gave you one.
What did you think?
I did.
She gave.
What did she say?
A priceless jewel.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
if I give you this hint, you're going to get it. I don't want to give in. Oh Lord, I think I have to think of something. I don't want to give hints.
Is this object edible?
No.
Is it a jewel?
No.
Is it furniture?
No.
That's like.
Is it rectangular?
No. Okay. You can wear it on the body, on the part of the body.
Is it a gown?
No.
A wrist?
No.
Oh my goodness.
A herring? An earring?
Close.
A necklace?
No.
What's close to an earring?
Okay, it's a headphone.
Oh!
Okay, your turn, Sophia.
I'm thinking of an object. It is a cleaning accessory. Let me just.
A cleaning accessory. Is it a mop?
No.
Is it a wipe?
No.
Soap?
No. A brush.
Okay, and today's one was really hard. Only ours one was easy. All right, and with that, we've come to the end of Kiddies Arena with Aunty Pearl and Crew for this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We are yet to find a winner for our riddle. Don't forget, the riddle is I have a thumb but no fingers. That's the riddle, and you win it to get data gifts courtesy Voracious Pay, or you win a regular ticket to Love Rekindled.